So you're thinking of buying a Kia EV9. Maybe you shouldn't have had so many kids. It's a great choice for small or even large families with up to 7-seat capacity and a huge amount of storage throughout the cabin. The EV9 actually has some of the most headroom out of any full-size SUVs out there, especially in the electric space. And it's definitely the most attainable 3-row electric SUV out there, especially on the used market, with depreciation doing it many favors in pricing. Most 3-row electric SUVs are very expensive, $80,000 or even more if you're looking at Rivians, Escalade IQ. But the Kia EV9 has always had a reasonable base price before incentives, whether they be federal, state, or through Kia directly. For example, this was a $60,000 car new, but we got it for $49,000 after negotiating and a large dealer discount back in May of 2024. And 2024 is the model year to look at if you want to get into an EV9 for as little amount of money as possible. Examples like this light long range are trading in the $30,000 range, and you can even get a little bit better than that if you get a Lemon, but we'll talk about that later. So let's talk trim levels. For 2024, 25, and 26, there are 4 main trim levels to consider. This is a light. There is Wind, Land, and GT line above that. The light trim comes with 2 optional battery sizes. There is a light short range and a light long range. The short range is somewhat of a rare vehicle. You won't find it much, but they are out there, and their range is approximately, while the light long range can reasonably attain 325 miles with steady speeds and a light foot. One thing to note is that the light trim only comes in rear-wheel drive. If you're looking to get the cheapest all-wheel drive model, you're going to be in the Wind trim, which comes with a standard bench seat, 7-seat configuration, and 2 motors, front and rear, for all-wheel drive. I'll throw some additional features on the screen right now. One step above the Wind is going to be the Land trim level. This is a more luxurious level, considered the top spec if you're not considering sportiness. Here you're going to have an optional relaxation package in the rear, which will offer what some people call ottomans, where you get a little bit of leg support. In practice, the rear seat and the ottoman are not very usable for adults because there isn't enough room to stretch your legs out, and it's not going to cradle your thighs as much as it would if this were a Rolls Royce or something with massive amounts of legroom in the rear. The Land also steps up to 20-inch wheels, a little bit better styling on the outside, and even more features inside like front and rear cooled and heated seats. Above the Land is the GT line. This is the benchmark EV9 for all years if you're looking for a sporty, great-looking 3-row SUV that it happens to be electric. The GT line comes with 21-inch wheels, a standard acceleration boost for a little bit more power over the Land. The Land does have that optional if you pay extra. And overall GT line body kit styling and accents inside. It's definitely the coolest looking one of them all. And personally, on the GT line, I love the seat bolsters that are active and hug you when you accelerate and decelerate. They're very cool, they're very comfortable. The light does have basic seats. You do get better seats in higher trim levels. On 2024 and 25 model years, you're going to get a standard CCS1 port with J1772 for level 2 and level 1 charging. 2026 models have a standard NACS port, North American Charging Standard. That can function natively at Tesla superchargers, but all Kia EV9s can charge at superchargers. You just need an adapter for the 24 and 25 model years. Charging speeds were improved at superchargers for the 26 model year. You'll see around 120 kilowatts. For the older 24 and 25s, they're going to peak around 87 kilowatts, and that's just due to a different inverter booster on the rear motor. With any used EV9 purchase, I highly recommend getting an alignment. Tire wear can be a big problem on this car if not aligned just right. The specs are very specific as to what this car needs as far as handling is concerned, and with that comes poor tire wear if it is incorrect. You can check out another video I made about this on the Ioniq Guy channel, but there is a phenomenon known as porpoising, on the Kia EV9, where when you hit a bump, the rear of the car will bump steer and it almost feels like you're sliding on ice. And that is directly caused by poor alignment in the rear. As many of you know, I've had about 5 alignments on this car, and quick update, I'm ready for my 6th because the rear has again drifted out of alignment. This is common on all EV9s. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Of course, I don't, but these tires are brand new. They only have about 2,500 miles on them, and they're already at about 60 to 70% tread. The fronts are doing great. The rears aren't going to last the year for me, and that's just wonderful. And I know I'm not alone in this. You can go on Reddit, you can go on the Kia EV9 forums. Tire wear can be a big problem if you don't have a perfect alignment. Get it checked out and check the tread before you leave the dealer if you're looking at a used one. If the rear tires are beginning to feather or cup, mine are feathering on the outside. There's a ridge here that pops up and down with every tread block. That's a telltale sign that the alignment is bad. Mine is the same on both sides, and the tread is suffering as a result. Again, this is no more than 2,500 miles. The fronts have much deeper tread. Totally happy with the tread wear up front. Totally happy with the tire. The factory Kumho HP71s are a quiet, efficient tire. We get incredible range on this car, but they get destroyed by bad alignments. And I don't know what the cause is, other than bushings that just fall out of compliance or something else. But as of right now, there are no technical service bulletins relevant to this issue, but it's just something you have to keep an eye on and keep up on if the car isn't driving straight or you're noticing that porpoising effect in the rear over bumps. All Kia EV9s, no matter what year they were built, are susceptible to the ICCU failure issue. Even new ones that have had it replaced, they're all susceptible to it. It is not fixed. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If you have a 2024 or a 25 that needs replacement or has had a replacement, it might have a new part number on the ICCU. That does not indicate that it's fixed. That's just a newer revision that Hyundai and Kia are trying out with their fingers crossed. Again, there's no indication that this problem is fixed. Brand new cars on this platform are still having the issue, just pulling right off the dealer lots. Don't let any salesman tell you differently. However, we've got 25,000 miles on ours right now. It's got the original ICCU, and it has had all of the software updates performed at the dealer to try to mitigate this issue. Early 2024 models built in late 23, like ours, if they were delivered in 23 and driven on the old water pump software and ICCU logic software, they are probably going to have a failure quicker than a car that was not driven on the old software at all. We picked our car up in May 24 and received an over-the-air update very shortly after to update the water pump logic, and there was another ICCU update as well. We really didn't drive much on the old software, and it's still fine as a result. We'll see when it fails, probably on our road trip next week. Not to scare you, but it's something to keep in the back of your mind if you're going on a long trip. No, it's not fixed. And that's going to be a great segue into talking about buying a previously lemoned Kia EV9. There are plenty of EV9s on the market with vehicle buyback titles, and this could be due to numerous reasons, but the number one is due to ICCU failures that were not repaired in a reasonable amount of time. In most states, if the car is not fixed within 30 days, whether that be to dealer backlog or part shortages, the owner can request that Kia buy back the vehicle. And usually that goes without a hitch, and you usually don't even need a lawyer. So is it safe to buy one of these cars? An EV9 with a buyback title and a brand new ICCU is no different than any other used EV9 out there. They've all got the same software, they've all got the same ICCU now. You still have the same level of risk as someone buying a brand new EV9 from 2026. And it can be a great way to save a lot of money on the purchase of one of these big machines. I would avoid buying a vehicle that has previously had vibration concerns. There are a lot of EV9s out there that simply just needed new tires. There are also a lot of EV9s out there that got new tires to address vibration concerns, and it did not fix the problem. I would steer clear of those entirely. Those can be difficult, if not impossible, to fix. And as far as I know, Kia does not have any resolution to this issue other than telling the owner that it's normal. Definitely isn't normal. Ours drives up to 105 miles per hour with absolutely no vibrations, but I balanced the tires myself. I did it perfectly. Most tire techs are not that good, and they're rushed and they don't do a good job. And that's just assuming it's the tires. So no, I didn't take it to 105 miles an hour. No, I would never. The EV9 light trim is very slow. 201 horsepower, rear wheel drive only. If you are Ayrton Senna or even Dennis Reynolds and you like to seize the gap, this is not the car for you. Go for a Wind, Land, or GT line with the boost feature. Obviously, it works. Fully loaded, 201 electric horsepower is completely fine. It has that instant torque everyone talks about, and it'll cruise at 85 miles per hour on the highway without issue. But for me, I need more power than that, just based on my driving style on the highway. My wife is a little bit more relaxed. She'll probably live longer than me, and 200 horsepower is fine. Just know the car's limits when you floor it, how long you're going to need to pass somebody, and you'll be fine. It really isn't as slow as most people make it out to be, but it definitely isn't fast. Will it, baby? Absolutely, yes. With a rear-facing child behind the passenger, plenty of space. However, if you are tall like me, you're not going to have a great time up front. My wife is 5'3" and she fits fine in the passenger seat, but would prefer to slide it back a little bit more. In any case, kids aren't rear-facing forever. Maybe another year of this, hopefully, and then we'll be back to a situation like on the driver's side, where even with my seat set like this, there is a wild amount of legroom for the rear passenger, whether they're in a booster seat or not. The rear doors are gigantic, and none of this changes based on the trim level. The space is the same in all of them. You may or may not get a moonroof depending on the trim, but light trims did receive a moonroof in 2026, which is very cool. However, ivory silver was discontinued. Probably not a popular color. Higher trims received self-leveling shocks in the rear. This is not air suspension. This is a passive self-leveling shock that uses the motion of the vehicle to either raise or lower to maintain a level ride height. There are no electronics that are associated with this, and I suspect you could even swap this onto a trim level without self-leveling if you get the correct springs and all of the hardware with it. But that's only going to be on vehicles with the towing package, and I can't really quote exactly what trim levels come with it, but I'll put it on the screen if I have any more information. The frunk is quite large on the rear wheel drive, actually. It is almost Tesla sized and pretty usable. I like to put tools and recovery stuff in the front when we go on trips. We put muddy boots in here and shoes after we go on hikes. It is sealed and waterproof, so you don't have to worry about putting in groceries or even purses, whatever. The frunk is gimped on all-wheel drive models due to the front motor being present under here. It's a lot smaller, not as usable, but on the rear-wheel drive, I am more than happy with this. I just wish it was easier to get to. I mean, this is already really high up here, and then you have to climb over. I doubt my wife can see into here naturally without getting on her tiptoes. It's a dedicated EV platform, and Kia still couldn't have figured that out, but I'm not going to complain too much. All trims receive over-the-air updates. These updates encompass everything from navigation maps to firmware updates for the various controllers around the car. Kia did a good job with this in the fact that they say that every module can be updated over the air. That's a huge step forward from some older legacy EVs that can't do that. This is the Tesla way. That's the way most EVs, if not all of them, should be. I'm very happy with that, and it has allowed us to avoid a lot of dealer visits. Do note that once these cars are 3 years old, the Kia Connect services for cellular connectivity will expire, and then you have to pay for them. And you will have to pay for over-the-air updates as well. This includes the ability to precondition the cabin remotely from the app, which has gotten better over the years. The app was pretty bad. It's improved other than the lag time required to submit and have the vehicle receive the command. It's good, not great. but note that the OTA updates are a function of that subscription. And with any used purchase of an EV9, it is wise to register the vehicle at your dealer, have them run the VIN through their computer to see if there are any pending recalls or service action updates. These vehicles have a lot of software updates, and the 24 specifically has had a lot since they were introduced. You want to make sure they've all been applied, and all of the recalls as well, because they improve quality of life and ensure that the vehicle doesn't grenade its ICCU prematurely, any more than it already does. I hope this helps you in your search to buy a used EV9. It's a great car. Ours has actually been dead reliable so far, and we'll see how that goes. But after 2 years and 25,000 miles, I definitely can recommend it as a good family vehicle if you need electric. And with most people needing electric right now due to gas prices, it's a no-brainer. For $38,000, you can get a great looking EV9 that will serve you well for years to come with a very long warranty. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment. I'll be active down there. Give this video a like or a dislike if you're a Rivian owner. And I'll be sure to catch you in the next one covering EV9 content for the Ioniq guy. Thanks for watching. Bye.
That's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Check out my store at ioniqguy.com for accessories for your Hyundai, Kia, Genesis EV. Consider becoming a channel member for as little as 99 cents per month. For $3 per month, you can gain early access to all of my videos, as well as a 5% discount to my store. Check out Alex's channel at the link in the description below. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.